The room went silent so fast I could hear the ice melting in unattended glasses. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Consider me as if I never existed. Live your lives as though there was never a daughter named Claire. My words fell into the party like a dropped blade. Small, sharp, unavoidable. Someone gasped. Someone else set down a drink too hard. My father's fingers froze mid-air, wrapped around the stem of a wine glass he suddenly seemed afraid to lift. And my mother stood across from me with the same expression she used when checking a receipt for errors. Neutral, annoyed, a fraction inconvenienced. Moments earlier, she'd said the sentence she always rehearsed behind my back but never dared say to my face. I wish you were never born. Not angry, not emotional, just indifferent, like she was commenting on a poorly selected appetizer. But now she looked shaken, because I didn't break. I walked to the center of her birthday celebration and dismantled the illusion of our family with one calm, clean line. And I wasn't done. Not yet. I suppose some daughters grow up with lullabies and warm hands. I grew up with warnings. Don't embarrass us. You're too sensitive. Why can't you be more like your brother? He achieves. You try. Love in our house wasn't unconditional. It was awarded like a scholarship, selectively and with a constant threat of revocation. I became the emotional landfill, the designated disappointment, the burden they blamed for every ruined mood and quiet dinner. My brother, Matthew, was the crown jewel. Perfect grades, perfect smile, perfect son. And if he faltered, I was the nearest scapegoat, already trained to apologize. Birthdays, holidays, milestones. My role was simple. Show up, stay small, stay useful. They didn't raise a daughter. They raised an explanation for their unhappiness. And I believed them. Until I didn't. Everything sharpened the week before my mother's birthday. Matthew had been living a double life. One polished for the family, one reckless and expensive behind the scenes. He used my parents' accounts like a personal vault. And when money vanished, guess who they blamed first? Claire must have access to something she shouldn't, my father said, not even looking at me. I wasn't even shocked, just tired. But then Matthew slipped up. He sent a transfer request meant for his friend to me. In the message, details, dates, password hints, screenshots, enough evidence to expose everything. He panicked, begged, threatened, manipulated in that gentle, rehearsed way my family considered charm. Don't tell them. You'll ruin everything. You'll ruin everything. Not I will. The entitlement was so thick I almost laughed. But something shifted inside me, quietly, decisively. For the first time, I didn't react emotionally. I reacted strategically. I didn't confront him. I didn't warn them. I simply documented. Every transfer, every forged signature, every little digital breadcrumb Matthew assumed no one would be smart enough to collect. I organized it into a neat folder, color-coded, time-stamped, undeniable. Then I sent an anonymous report to the bank's fraud department. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it because the truth was a weapon they'd always assumed I was too weak to hold. They wanted to blame me? Fine. Let them learn what happens when the quiet child stops absorbing damage and starts directing it. So here we were, at the party, Mom's birthday, their sanctuary of social image, a place they could perform perfection for guests while suffocating me in private. I wasn't supposed to be there, not after what she'd told me in the kitchen 10 minutes earlier. Arms folded, eyes bored. I wish you were never born. I waited for the sting. It never came. Instead, something inside me steadied, cold, clean, metallic. So I stepped out into the party, lifted my chin, and delivered my response. Consider me as if I never existed. The party froze. My mother opened her mouth, but my father spoke first, Sharp, brittle, don't make a scene. I almost smiled. No, I said softly, I'm making a point. I placed my phone on the center table, screen facing up. A single notification glowed. Fraud investigation. Urgent response required. Matthew's name was on it. The blood drained from his face so fast I thought he might faint. "What did you do?" he whispered. "Nothing," I said. "I just stopped taking responsibility for your mistakes." His composure shattered. Mine didn't. The next part unfolded faster than I expected. Mom snatched up the phone. She read. Her breath hitched. Dad leaned over her shoulder. His hand trembled. They both turned on Matthew at once. Questions, accusations, disbelief. Guests stared. Whispers spread. Their golden sun's shine cracked in real time. I watched my family implode from the eye of the storm I created, silent, steady, untouched. And then came the best part. I lifted a second envelope from my bag, set it beside the cake. Inside, proof of everything. Copies filed with my attorney. Documents already in the hands of the bank. Why? Mom choked, the first real emotion she'd shown me in years. Because, I said, you taught me to disappear. So I did. From your protection, your scapegoating, your version of the truth. Matthew lunged for the envelope. Dad stopped him. Mom looked like she'd aged 10 years in 10 seconds. Beautiful, clean collapse. I walked out while they were still arguing, still unraveling, still trying to understand how the daughter they dismissed mastered a strategy they never saw coming. Outside, the night was cold, honest, wide. For the first time in my life, I felt weightless, not because they'd released me, but because I'd released them. Toxicity feels heavy only until you set it down. I didn't look back. They were busy rewriting their story. I was finally writing mine. Some families don't break you. They sculpt you, sharpen you, forge you into something stronger than their smallness. And when you step away, the silence you leave behind is louder than any scream. I breathed in the night air, steady and unafraid. I didn't vanish. I simply walked into a life where I finally belonged. The door closed behind me. Quiet, final, perfect.